Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to beat the Phillidor Defence, which is a little annoying little sideline which black can play. And if you video can be watched by anyone, but if you play e4, e5, knight f3 as white, then this is must watch. And over the course of this video I'm going to teach you how to deal against how to get your hand in every line as white, and I'm going to teach you some ferocious tactics. First of all, I'm not too knowledgeable on this opening, so I'm relying a lot on the notes from the Ultimate Gambit Guide by Boris Altman, White Gambits, which is a very good book which you can purchase. And there's loads of other chapters as well. There's good ways to hack people up as white by gambits and all that, so it's really epic. But this video I'm going to show you how to beat the Phillidors. The Phillidors is these moves: e4, e5, knight f3, and now d6. So black wants to overprotect e5 and then maybe hit white center with f5 at some point. And white needs to play energetically here, and bishop c4 looks like a good move, but according to the book, bishop e6 is rather annoying. In fact, the move we're going to look at is d4, and white seems to get the edge in all lines. There's several moves we're going to look at. We're going to look at I just draw my arrows, the moves we're going to look at, which are bishop g4, a mistake. This is Phillidor's counter attack, which has been refuted, and we're going to see how. That's an interesting move. Knight c6, but then again white can just play bishop b5 and then transpose it into Royal Lopez, where black is committed to a passive line. Of course black can take, and there's also knight f6. So over the course of this video I'm going to look at all these moves, and let's look at the mistake moves first. So if black plays bishop g4, this is a mistake, because what you do is you chop on e5, and if black just takes back, then there's queen takes d8, followed by knight takes e5, because the queen is no longer pinned, so you have to give up the bishop pair, add your own developed piece. And after queen takes f3, d takes c5, now comes bishop c4, attacking the weak f7 square, and in the Phillidors, f7 is a very weak point, so there's many bishop takes f7 check sacs we're going to see. It's hard to defend here. In fact, this is a decisive advantage for white already, but I'll show you quickly some famous Morphy game, which would be knight f6, and now queen b3, where the f7 and the b7 points are both attacked. So after queen e7, now white can just take on b7, but after queen b4 check, white would have a long time to win, and Morphy was trying to win as fast as possible, so he just plays knight c3, stopping any queen b4 resources. And after what's this there? See where the moves go now. Well, he plays c6, taking away the d5 square from knight, and after bishop g5, pinning the knight, he now blunders with b5, and you should never attack when behind development, and Morphy just sacrifices his knight. And after c takes, bishop takes b5 check, knight d7, he castles queenside, and now there's pins everywhere. The d7 knight's pinned and the f6 knight. He plays rook d8 defending, and now Morphy wastes no time and sacrifices with rook takes d7, and after rook takes d7 brings the other rook into the game. And now he tries to get some early with queen e6, but now Morphy concludes the game with a brilliant finish. If you want to try and spot it, please stop the video now. First of all, you take the knight, and after knight takes d7, we realise if the knight wasn't in the way, then rook d8 is mate, so he just plays queen b8 check, forcing the knight to take, and then rook d8 is mate, and Morphy is made on his 17th move with his last two pieces. So this is one of the reasons why bishop g4 is bad. And should be avoided by all serious players. Right. So let's have a look at Phillidor's counter-attack and how it's refuted next. So F5. Oops. So this was a dangerous variation at one point. There's even a famous game where Morphy beats Bird with it with some rook and queen sacrifice, which is worth a check out. So to refute F5 then. Bishop C4 is the correct move in this position, which already threatens knight G5. Oh, another way to get an advantage, by the way, is F takes E5. F takes E4, knight G5, and after D5, E6, restricting black's pieces badly, and white has also got the upper hand here. But bishop C4 seems best. And after F takes E4, now comes a deadly piece sacrifice with knight takes E5. If black declines, then he just ends up a pawn down without any compensation. After D5, now we have queen H5 check, G6, and now knight takes G6. And of course, he can't take knight, so knight F6 is forced. And after queen E5 check, bishop E7. Now the key move is bishop B5 check, C6, and after knight takes E7, queen takes E7, queen takes, king takes, bishop just sweep the bishop back, and white's a pawn up with better position. So declining is no good, but if it's accepted, then we have the thematic queen H5 check. G6 is queen takes C5 check takes H6, so that's no good. King E7, either way, is brutally met by taking on E5, and after king moves, the game is concluded by queen E6 mate. So the king has to move to D7, and now the king is drawn out further by queen F5 check, king C6, and queen takes E5, and there's just too many threats here. Say he tries to betray a hole for king, get square for king with A6, then D5 check, king B6, bishop E3 check. And now after bishop C5, if king A5, then A3, and there's no really good way to stop B4 and mating. So bishop C5, you take, and after king takes, B4 check, a very strong pawn sacrifice. And say he takes the bishop, then takes, king B5 and A4, and mate's coming very soon. You see king B6 for example, check, and now after C5 you take in its mate, and you've sacrificed two pieces there, but the black king's been mating, and as you see F5 has now been refuted. So if you learn all these sharp lines against it, then you could have some quick wins here. But anyway, on to some more proper moves now. By the way, I'm not covering absolutely everything here. If you want more, then check out the book I mentioned before, White Gambits by Boris Alterman. So now let's have a look at knight d7, the Hanon variation, named after Hanon. So he wants to play bishop e7 and knight gf6, and then he'll have a solid position with no weaknesses. However, now comes the thematic bishop c4, aiming at f7. And there's a few moves here. The best is c6. If he tries to stop knight g5 with h6, then we open up the position. Takes. And then we have the thematic sacrifice, bishop takes f7 check. King takes f7, knight takes e5 check. If king e8, then check. King e7. And then we've got queen f7 check, king d6 check, check, check. And now the game is brutally concluded by the game is brutally concluded by a pawn mate on b3, and look at the black king, which has been amusingly driven down to a4. Back to the game. The king takes, knight takes e5. If king f6, then the best move is actually the stunning knight c3, just leaving a piece on pre. And if the king takes, then we have queen d5, king f6, queen f5, king e7, and now the knight that came to c3 comes into the game with decisive effect. If king e8, then queen g6 is mate, so the king has to come here, and now the bishop comes into the game. King f6, now queen e6, and now after bishop d6 blocking, we now have to win the game as white. And now the move to win it is the nice move, knight b4, taking advantage of the pin. There's a couple of alternatives, but we'll just leave it at king b6. The other ones can be analysed for yourself or checked out in the book. And then bishop takes d6, getting rid of this defending bishop. C takes, queen takes, king a5, knight d5, b6, c4, king a6, and now queen c6, and now the knight b4 and queen b5 is coming, and there's nothing that can be done. It's not easy to remember these sacrifices, so I'd recommend watching this video a few times to get the gist of the general ideas. And now let's go back. And some of these lines as well, as we're going to see, natural moves can lose the game straight away, because after knight d7, bishop c4, knight gf6, a normal developer move, is strongly met by d takes e5. Knight takes e4 immediately loses to queen d5 with a double attack on e4 and f7. So if knight takes e5, which is given as best, takes, and now we can play the bishop takes f7 check. We can't play queen takes d8 followed by bishop takes f7 because knight takes e4 regains the pawn. So bishop takes f7 check. The bishop can be taken because after king takes f7, queen takes d8, you can win the queen back with a discovery via bishop b4 check, but then white blocks with the queen. And after takes, knight takes d2, white has won a pawn, and black's e5 pawn is isolated, and white should win this position with good technique. So knight f6 is a mistake that allows this combination. Again, bishop e7, another natural move, also is bad. Again, you take an e5. I'm sure you're getting the gist of all the main themes now of the Phillidors. D takes c5 loses to queen d5 immediately, because the only way to defend f7 is knight h6, and then you just take it on h6. So after knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, and now there is now queen h5, which forks f7 and e5, and after stops it, then queen takes e5, and white has just won a central pawn for nothing. So if we go back to the position after knight d7, bishop c4, whoops, the best move is c6, which means that black can like blunt the bishop with d5 at any point, and also stops any killer queen d5 moves. After bishop e7, then we can just take, because the pawn's going to stop queen d5. We can play knight g5 now, ganging up on f7. However, now we can play knight h6 now just calmly, because the knight blocks the bishop. And now white can set a trap here with the move a4, a rather innocuous looking queenside move. And you won't believe what could actually happen now, because if black is careless and blunders with bishop e7, this is like a natural move. Black's queen actually ends up getting trapped by force. As we'll see, you play bishop takes f7 check, and after knight takes f7, knight e6. Now you see queen b6 and queen a5 leaves the same result, so we'll pick queen b6, and now a5, queen b4 check, c3, queen c4, knight c7, king d8, and b3, and all of a sudden black's queen is completely trapped, and black will be a queen down for 2 mana pieces, so can resign. So that's the hidden trap this harmless looking position can result in. If you get this as black, then you should chop. And after queen takes d4, knight e5 rebuffs white's aggressive intentions. And this isn't too bad for black. So a4 probably isn't the best move. It's just it sets this really venomous trap. So it might be good for some like rapid play games or something, or on the internet, sweating some 5 minute. So after knight h6, if you know your opponent's not a patch, then you should just castle. Just complete your own development, because black's done nothing wrong in this position. He's got a solid but cramped position. And and by the way, bishop e7 again loses. Knight e6, and they're forcing open the diagonals after takes. Now we have bishop takes h6. If the knight is taken, then after queen h5, king f8, bishop takes e6. Black has no defense to mate. So the best try is knight b6, attacking the bishop, and now bishop takes g7, knight takes c4, queen h5 check, king d7. That's king d7 now. And now on black's in trouble now. We can just like take the rook or something, and then like open up the center. And this is bad. This. Just go back. And I'm sure you can see that black I can lose in this line by playing natural moves, so he has to be very careful. And this makes the Phillidor, although it's solid, quite risky as well if white plays energetical like this. Just have a quick look at some game. After c6, the actual best move for white is to actually castle on move 5. And after bishop e7, preventing is safe now because the knight on g5. There's d takes e5. D takes e5. Knight g5. This is a tactic where it looks like white's losing a piece, but even though you can take, now there's queen at h5, forking mate and f7 and the bishop, so it has to be defending the mate threat, and now we can take. Now the queen's come off, but white's like these like two raking bishops all of a sudden. And after knight gf6, f3, knight b6, and white's got an advantage here, which shows this line is okay, playable, but not particularly brilliant. White's raking bishops are going to tell eventually. So this will conclude our analysis on the c6 line. So let's go back to this position. Let's now have a look at taking on d4. This looks a bit dubious because now we're kind of like giving up the centre. And you can take it with knight or queen. The queen's interesting because after knight c6 you pin it. And after bishop d7, bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6. Although black's got the bishop pair in quite an open position, his other bishop's like cramped here by the d6 pawn, which is one of the disadvantages of the Phillidors, and white's got a nagging space advantage. And we used to have a quick look at a famous game. It's called Adams versus Torre, and it involves like loads of like queen sacrifices. So bishop e7 by black. Oh, sorry, not bishop e7 because it's white's move. Castles. Bishop e7. What's wrong moves here? In fact, we just do it for this move order. Knight 6, knight d5. Slightly different move order. I've just messed up. Takes, takes. And now he's actually giving up his bishop there. Castles. Bishop g5, c6, c4. Takes, takes. Rook e8, rook fe1. a5, a pretty dubious move. Rook e2, increasing the pressure on the e line. And now rook c8, trying to take advantage of the open line. So now we have the other rook on e1. And now the combination starts to begin after queen d7, takes, takes. And now the stunning move, queen g4, I won't look at this too deeply because it's beyond scope of video, but you notice that the queen can't be taken because the black's back rank is weak. Queen b5 has to maintain defense at b8, and now comes queen c4. The queen's on pre in two ways but can't be taken. Queen d7, and now queen c7. Queen b5, and now deflect the queen with a4. Takes, and now rook e4, which prevents any killing counter sacrifices on e2. Queen has to go back to b5, and after queen takes b7, now there's no way to defend and no killing counter sacrifices because of white's weak back rank, so black has to resign. And that's a good win with queen takes d4 line. Let's go back. We can also take it with knight though, I think is best. Say knight f6, knight c3, bishop e7. And now it seems that g3 is a good way to play against this. Just feeling shadowing. Castles, bishop g2, bishop g4, f3, and the best move is bishop d7. And after bishop d7, white's slightly better because of his space advantage, but it's a game. But after bishop h5, the bishop isn't good on king's side. He just gets stranded. Castles, knight bd7, knight f5, very strong knight alert. Rook e8, bishop f8, g4. Black's just getting constricted now. Bishop g6, knight g3, and you can see that white's massive space advantage is going to prove telling in the long run. And when you have this big space advantage in this line, you need to like avoid exchanges, and then you just push your pawns at them and kill them. So e takes d4 isn't actually that great, but it is played quite a bit. So what have we got left now? You've got knight f6, which is what Nimzovich liked to play. Like very hyper modern move this. The way to test it is d takes e5, knight takes e4, and now they move queen d5. Another queen swing into this square. Retreat the knight back to c5. And after bishop g5, another energetic thrust. We have bishop e7. Takes. Knight c3. The queen trade is actually at least a better game for white. So black just plays knight e6. And now white just castles long. And white's getting better development here. We don't need to look at these moves too much because there's not really any trappy lines as the other ones, but white's going to get the upper hand. And this concludes my analysis on the Phillidor and how to beat it. So let's go back. The moves are, and then black's got all these options. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my analysis of how to beat the Phillidor. And I got a lot of this from this White's Gambit book, which I found very instructive. The Phillidor is a tough defense to meet, it can be, and I hope you learn like the general ideas, and you want to try some of these lines in your own games, and you let me know in the comments of any like spectacular wins you've had with some of these variations. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much.